You know, whether you're a small kid, a big kid, or some super old kid around, I don't know, 34 years old, you're never too old to play with action figures. Public service announcement, the Dazman is 34 years old. The add-on that we're revealing in today's video is the Mob Action Figures add-on by KA Studios. It's currently unrated and costs 490 mine tokens, which is the equivalent of £2.49 in my local currency. And it says a Mob Action Figures add-on lets you create epic battles, cinematic scenes, or unique decorations with a wide variety of mob figurines. Perfect for storytelling, roleplay, or just adding life to your builds. Place them however you want and bring your imagination to life. This add-on can be used in any world by KA Studios. Let's get this add-on revealed. Welcome back to the channel. I am your host, the Dazman, and in today's video we are in a brand new creative flat world for the Mob Action Figures add-on by KA Studios. If you enjoyed today's add-on reveal, please do leave a like on the video. Drop a comment down below. Let me know what you think of the add-on. Clarify or correct me if I get anything wrong. And if you're new to the channel, please do hit that subscribe button. I would greatly appreciate it. We're going to start today's add-on reveal as we always do. And that's by looking at the guidebook. And to be honest with you, everything about this add-on seems to have an element of basicness about it, and that's continued with the book, which is specifically a Minecraft book, and it says Action Figures add-on by KA Studios. It's page 1 of 39, and it says with this add-on you can craft and collect various action figures using special recipes. Choose to showcase them in their original packaging or right-click the box to unbox them. Once out, simply right-click the action figure to trigger its animation. If you want to reposition the action figure once it is outside the box, simply hit it a few times until it drops as an item and then place it back. And then we get a ton of different crafting recipes on here, very basic, drawn out in text. So, you know, it's not the easiest or smoothest thing to see, but in some cases it's the most basic and easiest. It's a very weird thing, but 39 pages here, and then on the last end bits it's got for any feedback please contact us through X, Twitter at KA_studios_ and have fun. I've seen they do respond to people on Twitter, so if you do have any questions, go over there if you have an account and check it out. If you don't have an account, well, maybe drop a comment with any questions and we'll see if the community can help you here. And then page 39 is empty, so really it's 38 pages. And so that only really leaves us the opportunity to look at the action figures. So I'm not sure which title card I used, but we're going to be combining the items and the blocks here. And the first thing that I've noticed is their entities. As you can tell by the shadow at the bottom, I've been reliably informed that if there is a shadow, it means it is an entity. And with that in mind, they are a very weird entity as well. Let me just grab this. If you punch it, it actually takes damage. No sound, and it kind of sounds like the opening and closing of a trapdoor. But yeah, it takes damage and actually dies. So that's one thing to just bear in mind. We can see it in an item frame as an item here as well. I really like the way the box looks. Now, the box is the same in terms of the graphical design for every mob, but it changes shape depending on what you get. But I kind of like the grass. I kind of like the design. It's got obviously what action figure it is on the top. It says action figure on the top as well. If we go around here, the box design goes all the way around. And I think it's a really nice element. I'm just not really here for the entity part of it. Maybe it's needed for it to be what it is. And yeah, the sizing as well is another thing. I need to have a look at the product page again and the pictures. But one thing I will say is, I probably built this add-on up in my head over the last few days as being something it isn't. The pictures do quite clearly show the sizing of the action figures when relative to the blocks and the sea lanterns in the pictures on the product page. But I very much built this up like these were going to be quote-unquote life size, and they're not. So that's a mistake on my part. But yeah, I mean, in terms of the boxes, they're quite nice. They're varying sizes. You've got the Ender Dragon here as well. So you get the action figures on their own, or some action figures also come with a few extra bits, which I'm sure we'll see later. So the turtle, for instance, has 2 bits of kelp next to it. And we can see here, we're just going to go down the list. I'm just going to show them all off to you. There's nothing specifically special about any of them at this point, but it's worth seeing what you get. I don't think there's one for every mob in the game currently, but yeah, I mean, they are nice, consistent designs. Let's just put it that way. But there will definitely be some red flags about the entities. Another thing to mention here as well, if we're looking at these as blocks, if you place one down like so, now you can see it overlaps into the other block. If I put that down, they don't connect, which is cool. I can then place down a block. Now, it doesn't interfere with that block being placed, but the block will go over what we have. So just bear that in mind in terms of quality. That's what we're dealing with here, which is why these are all forward. And then also how you place them is dependent on where you're looking. So just be careful. It could be a bit fiddly, and then you will have to essentially kill it again to get it back as an item. And that happens even in survival as well. So if I set my world into survival like so, and then we go here, no sounds while it's in the box, but you kill it and then you get it to drop an item, and then you can replace it. So, I mean, you don't waste it by placing it down. That's good. The items are a fair representation of the block and how the block looks. Some of them are tiny, like the magma cube. Some of them are more average in size. I mean, it's about a block's height for the spider there. We've got the villager here as well. We've got the pig. I think that this is a really, really good idea. There's questions on whether or not it's been implemented correctly here. It's questions on whether or not I've built it up in my head as being something it's a little bit different to. But the overall creative idea, in my opinion, is absolutely amazing. Action figure mobs is just so cool. The little box, it's so cool. Just whether or not the execution is good enough is a question. And this mention as well, 490 mine tokens in a world where you can buy absolute tosh for 990 mine tokens. The fact that KA Studios has kept this as relatively cheap as possible. Obviously, it's not the cheapest. There are lower price points, but it is on that borderline of what I consider acceptable. And of course, I'm not anybody when it comes to saying what is and isn't successful, or acceptable, sorry. So just bear that in mind. But 490 mine tokens, it's a refreshing thing to see, shall we say, as we go through the goat here as well. The chicken, there's a fair few of them too. The evoker on here, the bee, and then the bat as well is here too. So like I say, there are a fair few different ones here, but this is just looking at them essentially as items and inside the box as blocks. There is another part, and we're going to look at them here. I don't really know how I'm going to title this and chapter this, but as an out of the box thing, this is what I mean by the sizes. So I, in my head, had built this up as being a lot more gigantic, shall we say, more my height essentially. But if I stand next to it, they are tiny, and that means that you can kind of make little dioramas, I guess. I can't find any way that I would make them any bigger. Like, there's no crouching to place it, there's no being far away to place it. It just seems to be that height. And so like I said, that's probably me building it up, but they're really, really small. And they're really, really cute as well. I mean, that's a bat hanging upside down. We've got the bee here with a little bee's hive there too. And you can just place these down as and when you want here. We'll look at these more in the experience, but yeah, they are they're not posable. That's a lie, but they are placeable where you want them. So you can make a little diorama, a little graphical design, a little, I don't know what the thing is that I'm trying to say here, a little showpiece, a little scene if you want to. And they look really nice to that vanilla feel as well. They are very vanilla in most cases, in all cases. And I think they're quite cute. And each of these do have an animation. We're not going to look at all of the animations today, but that's going to be the experience section later on. Unfortunately, they don't seem to work in a flat world. So that's why I'm just kind of showing them off here. I found that out the hard way after I had laid all of these out. But we will go into a survival world, a normal world, to just show off a few of the animations and see them. We're not going to look at all of them. I'll leave these for you guys to experience. But again, awesome idea. Really well executed in quality of each of these models. But overall, has it been executed how everybody would want? The entities, like I say, are going to be a massive part that turns people away. And there we go with that. There's a fox here. There's the pillager there. We've got the turtle with the kelp in his mouth. So yeah, there you go. You see the kelp included in the box is in his mouth. Nice. Got the ender dragon there, which is on a stick for detail. So it's not necessarily flying. I don't know. Maybe one thing I could quickly check. I don't know if when you place it up in the sky and get rid of the block that it's on, does it lose the stick? So it's got the stick there. No, it actually suffers to gravity because it's an entity. So it's very much an armor stand in that sense. Okay. So there's the dragon. And then there's the enderman there holding the block too. So I really like the models. I really like how they look. I'm really trying to put away my preconception about the sizes. I think they work, and it was clearly shown in the product page that they're not big. I just overlooked it. So I like that. I don't like the fact that they're entities. I don't like the kind of iffiness about using them with the overlaps and stuff like that. But that's not everything yet. Let's go into a full world and let's see a few of these animations in the experience. So here we are in a brand new creative world then. I've got the mob action figures add-on loaded or added in as well. And it's very easy in creative for me to go and lay out all of the stuff, right? You can see here in the creative menu, I've got them inside the box. I've got them outside the box. It's very simple. But what happens if you want to do this in survival? So I'm not going to sit there and craft it. If you want to know the crafting recipes, we saw they are in the book. So you can do that. We're going to just have a look here and have a look there. I'm going to set the world into survival while I can. And then we're going to place a couple of these down. So we've got the Vindicator first of all. Now, once you've placed the block down, and you get rid of some of the grass away from it that makes it look tiny, get rid of all of that. Thank you very much. What you then want to do is go up to the box and interact with it. Now on PS5, that's L2. That's left click on a mouse. You do that, you get this little animation of it popping free. And there we go. So there was a nice little glass shatter type thing. Not really sure if it's relevant, but now I've got my model right here, or my action figure. You can see he's holding the axe. He's got the emerald. Now, as far as I can tell, these are not posable. They come in the one pose, which is a bit of a shame. I wish they were posable. I wish they were more like an armor stand where I could just click on it and see what happens. Maybe they are. I'm going to test that in a second, but I just want to have a look. When they're like this, they also have an animation. So again, you interact with it. We get a sound effect. He's doing the old swipe, which is probably why he's not posable, because he has that swiping action with the axe. And he's given me an emerald. Now, can I make him do that again? No. So is it a one-time only interaction? Does it reset after time? I'm not sure. But I'm going to go on the assumption that it's a one-time animation. And it does stop a sheep. So the sheep right there is squaring up to him. He's like, what are you doing, big man? You kill me, I kill you. There we go. But yeah, I mean, it's quite cute. It's got a little bit of character to it. I think that's really nice. I've given myself 8 of these, so we're going to put them down and just have a look. So we've got a spider, arachnophobia warning, of course. I don't know what the animation is going to look, but we're going to have a look here. Let's pop that down. We've got the animation again. So seems to be a consistent unboxing animation. And we get the spider laid flat. We're going to punch the cow to get out of here. And we've got some cobwebs here. I can walk over it, not a problem. And then if I interact with it, oh, it crawls. Okay. It crawls and puts itself back, and it spits out 2 cobwebs. Now, I wanted to check if these were posable. So on an armor stand, to pose it, you crouch and interact. So I'm going to try that now. No. I do wish there was either a few different poses for it, or if things were more consistently or more available to being manually posed would be nice. I get why they're not, because of the animation. They have to have the generic start and end pose, but that is a shame. Let's throw down a zombie. And you know what? We'll throw down a few. So I'm going to get the wolf, because these animations are all the same, it seems. I'm going to do a mule. We're going to do a goat. We're going to do a blaze. And then actually I'm going to quickly go back into creative, because there are 3 others that I want to see. And I think these will answer pretty much every question. You guys can experience the rest. But I want to have a look at the Ender Dragon. I want to have a look at the Wither. And I want to have a look at the big boy Warden over there. Thank you very much. Into survival. I'm going to put these ones down over here for later. So Ender Dragon goes there. Wither goes there. Warden goes there. Pop these guys open, which all seems to be, again, the same animation. They all just burst free. Okay, so we've got the zombie wearing a diamond helmet, I might add, and holding a diamond sword. Oh, he hasn't killed me because I never get diamond tools. So who have you killed? Very small as well. Look, there we go. Like the king of the giants right here. But you could lay them out and have a nice little scene here that you walk across, kind of like a model village or something. But if I interact... Okay, so he had a little jump, the helmet came off, the sword came off, and he threw out some rotten flesh, and we had the sound. We've got a wolf, the bark, the tame animation there, little tail wag, and he's got a bone in his mouth. He gives me the bone. Got a parrot, little fly around. Okay, so they're quite... I don't want to say that they're simple. I don't know how easy these animations were to make, right? I'm not very knowledgeable on that. But they're not the most... what's the word that doesn't make it sound bad? I don't want it to sound bad. They're not the most technically exuberant, technically vibrant of animations. But they do animate, which is cool. We've got... Is that the horse or the mule or the donkey? I don't know. Oh, look at that. Big kick out at the back. And he gives you a chest. Okay, thank you very much. Then we've got a goat. Okay, so there is the ramming motion. It gives us a goat's horn, which we can blow. That's cool. And then, yeah, okay, it was a very subtle sound as well. And then we've got the blaze. Again, with the sound, gives us 2 netherrack this time. Okay, I think I've seen all of the ones that I placed there. That's cool. And then that kind of leaves us with the bosses. So, let's have a look at the Ender Dragon first. How you doing, Endy? Loud dragon roar, a bit of a weird flight pattern, and then returns back to her stand. And again, it's not multi-interactional. You can only do it once. I can place blocks here as well, and she will go inside the blocks. Not the stand bit though, but around it, the bits that come out do. Interesting. Oh, that one didn't though. Okay, interesting. We've then got the Wither. Let's see. Oh, he got bigger. See, that's the size I wanted. That big size, that's the size I would have really enjoyed having. Whereas right now, with my Wither Rose, about half a block, or about half a body, 1 block size. Okay. And then last but not least, we've got the Warden. With the screech animation. Okay. Alright, so all in all, I'm not going to say it's a bad add-on at all. Because part of what I don't like about it is because of me building it up myself. But I wish there was a way it didn't have to be entities. I don't know if that's even possible, but I'm just putting it out there. I wish it didn't have to be entities. That's a lag machine waiting to happen. The idea, the creativeness behind it, awesome. And it's unique. I've not seen an add-on like this in the marketplace. So it's absolutely unique. I shout that out completely. There is definitely a base here to improve on and build on. And that deserves to be applauded. 490 mine tokens. That also deserves to be applauded. Can it be improved? 100% it can. But what can't? You don't want to live in a world where things can't be improved. But like I said, it's not the most technically... Oh, I can never think of the word. But it's not the most difficult add-on in the world. And that's probably a good thing. But I wouldn't use it in its current state because of how small everything is. That's just me. But I think there is a market for this and people will probably like it. So shout out to that. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments. Please do leave a like on the video if you enjoyed this. And if you're new to the channel, as always, please do hit that subscribe button and help us get to 6,300, 6,500, or even, dare I hope, 7,000 subscribers. Thank you so much for your support. I always appreciate it. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.